I'm a Republican.
And I'm a Democrat.
And today we introduced the Presidential Ethics Reform Act, a landmark bill to deliver transparency to the American people.
Despite our political differences, we both understand how the lack of transparency in Washington is damaging Americans' faith in our government.
Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter is teaming up with Republican Congressman James Comer on new legislation that would require presidents and vice presidents to publicly disclose tax returns before, during, and after their time in the White House. Congresswoman Porter joins us now. Congresswoman, good to see you.
Nice to be back.
Talk to us about the Presidential Ethics Reform Act. What is it exactly, and why do you think it's needed?
The bill would require presidents, vice presidents, and their family members, such as siblings, adult children, grandparents, in-laws, to make basic disclosures to give the American people confidence that our president and our vice president are working for us and that their family members are not engaged in any influence peddling. So it would require disclosures of conflicts of interest, large gifts, large loans, and payments from foreign sources, and tax returns.
When we spoke on The Issue Is recently, James Comer, who is the Republican chair of this committee, said some nice things about you, said he might want to work with you, which is not something people think about happening often in Washington. Can you talk to us about the behind the scenes of how this actually happens, this idea of a progressive Democrat and conservative Republican coming together?
Well, I think two things make it happen. One is the willingness to reach out and see each person as a person, regardless of their political opinions. So when Republicans won control of the Congress and James Comer was appointed chairman of the Oversight Committee, the committee that I serve on, I asked for a meeting. I went to his office, and immediately upon walking into his office, I saw two things that we have in common. One, he had a quilt hanging in his office, and in fact represents Paducah, Kentucky, the Quilting Hall of Fame, where my mother has a quilt on permanent display. And I saw his Future Farmers of America FFA jacket, and I too used to be an FFA. So from that sort of friendly, personable beginning, we started talking about what we wanted to work on that Congress. That's included hearings on things like pharmacy benefit managers, hearings that we're working on still about taxpayer abuse. And then as the Congress has unfolded, it's becoming clear that people on both sides of the aisle, real Americans, not just folks in Washington, but everyday Americans, feel like it doesn't matter whether it's a Democrat or Republican in office. How can we trust anyone after all of these allegations? And so the goal here is to really level set, to make clear to presidents and vice presidents and their families what they need to disclose immediately upon taking office.
We know some Democrats have expressed some frustration that maybe this is equating Hunter Biden and Joe Biden with what Donald Trump has done. Do you have the votes, do you think, to pass this thing in the full House? And what are you hearing from fellow Democrats?
Well, this is a forward-looking bill. It's about setting the right platform for our democracy going forward. If we pass this bill in the next few months, as I anticipate we will, it will apply to our next president, whoever that will be. And I think the goal here is, look, President Biden has been a real leader on transparency. He's disclosed 26 years of his tax returns. So the bill would require him to disclose 2. President Trump disclosed no years of his tax returns. This bill would require him to disclose 2. So I would say that Representative Comer, as a Republican, and me as a Democrat, we worked very, very hard with Legislative Counsel to make this bill as strong, as fair, and as technically correct as it can be.
I know this evening you were speaking to a synagogue in the wake of all this anti-Semitism we've seen. We also know that you spent a lot of time teaching at UC Irvine, and we've seen all sorts of chaos on various college campuses, various UC campuses, including UC Irvine. I'm curious your thoughts on the way that the UC system has handled some of these protests and what you're seeing just down the street from you.
Well, I want to start by providing some context for campus protests. We have seen these throughout our country's history, in the civil rights movement, with the Vietnam War, now with the war in Gaza. And I think each and every time we have seen how difficult it is for campuses and universities, for law enforcement, and for students who want to make and deserve to be able to make their voices heard, to find the right balance. So I strongly support the right to free speech, but that right does have limits and boundaries. Famous Obviously, the Supreme Court said you can't go into a crowded movie theater and yell fire. You also can't occupy a building so that other people cannot come and go. That said, how you deal with a protest once it has become established and the right amount of law enforcement, the real question has to be for campus leaders. Is bringing the police to the situation actually making everyone safer? And I think in some instances we have seen that has not always been the case.
Was it the case at UC Irvine?
I was not there on the ground, so I have seen snippets of it, including some of the ones that you're playing. But without my being there on the ground, I can't make that call. I also was not able to observe, because I was in Washington, exactly where and how the students and if there were faculty, what exactly they were doing.
Of course, the last time you were on the issue you told us that you would be teaching at UC Irvine once again come next year, but in the meantime, you remain in Congress trying to pass the Presidential Ethics Reform Act. Congresswoman, thanks for coming on and sharing your views.
Thank you.